and I'm actually here at the King Kamehameha. Favorite places to go just because it has a very beautiful bay, and it actually has, it's like the founding area of where King Kamehameha himself had actually for retreat and for healing, and also this is the place where they had actually the, which is basically like a place of connecting with source and God. And so I wanted to actually share with you some amazing news, and now that I'm very clear about what's my next steps. And so this is a really good opportunity if you're really wanting to know more about, you know, your soul, and you know, how to utilize. So I had to tell you the story behind why I'm deciding to do this right now. But first, let me just show you around. It's a very beautiful beach. So it's actually a lot of people, they come here, even the locals come here. And I don't know if you guys heard of the Ironman marathon, and that's where like a lot of people come like once a year. Have like canoe competitions here, so it's actually very active in the Kailua Kona. Right now it's very foggy, so you can't really see very well. It's a bit cloudy, but you see it's generally that I think like where they ceremonies with King Kamehameha first, and if within our islands. Um, and so actually a lot of people to get married here, or right now actually they're setting up like this whole kind of looks like reception kind of a area here, and then there's like the restaurant right behind me, and a very, you know, this is the hotel here. So we just had like a really beautiful day already. Swimming with my son. He got on his little boogie board, and that's where we were swimming, right in the bay there. And so like we actually just went to go walk to the car already, but I just wanted to jump on here and just share with you guys just this amazing energy, and then also my new awakening. So if you saw my live stream yesterday, I was basically like crying. I cried all day about what it really means to really embody, you know, your gifts and to get to your next level. And normally we think like the way that we've been taught by society actually is just that we are supposed to, you know, like have a certain kind of success or certain kind of what do you call that, like like there's a certain quality of what it means to have it all. And I'm really like the embodiment, meaning you can have beautiful relationships, you can make an impact. So, you know, share your gifts in the world, and self-express your gifts. And so one of my realizations actually was that I'm all about soul alignment, which I think like the way that people describes like doing your purposeful work and, you know, like that kind of stuff, that's, to me, that's not real soul alignment. Soul alignment is really when you're living your divine self-expression. You're not only doing your purpose, but everything in your, and you actually have mastered, you know, being limited in this physical body, and in a way like being able to express yourself 100% and have the full expression of your purpose, you know, and your life like all in completion. And so I was actually yesterday I really told the truth about what was really blocking when I left the spiritual group, and why I wasn't really like I'm already am. Everybody all has their upper limit, that invisible glass ceiling that we make up for ourselves, that limit ourselves from actually getting out there, right? Hey sweetheart, yeah, I missed you, girl. Hi Daniela. So anyway, I really like looking for a deeper meaning as to what's the next step for me, and I was just like in this deep contemplation for the past 2 weeks since my big trip. And it was really intense, because again I got to see the aspects of what it's like when you're not in at all any alignment, the opposite of what soul alignment. I don't think like I realized how impactful, and then also like living that my own divine self-expression that way, like I didn't realize how my beingness has really already shifted. Or following me right now, there is something about our connection that I really value, and I talking to my business besties, Tepsi, my whole team, Charm and Christine, and like my husband, and everybody was all, you know, helping me with this time of like really deep. Actually, in the middle, like I think it was like late last night. I was laying on my bed and I put my hands on my chest, and every time when I feel like there's something deeper that I need to contemplate within myself and really go into, you know, the understanding of, okay, what do I actually want? And so I was laying on my phone, and then I saw like Kelly, my good friend, did a post, and she did a live stream, and then I saw, you know, Beyonce. She like, you know, get like posted and did a like onto her page, and I was like, oh, it felt right. So I followed the feeling into it, and I was like, okay, let's look up Beyonce. So I looked her up, and of course I love Beyonce. She's really cool. So I looked it up, and then I looked at like all the songs that she was playing. I had this song in my head that was playing, and I was like, what song is that? And then I realized it was a song, you know, from Beyonce, which is I Am Here. It's very powerful. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it right now. I played it, and then I was just like, more. What it's all about when you want to make an impact has nothing to do with ego, has nothing to do with like you as a human being, you know, supposed to do something or whatever, you know, like that, right? That's not the truth of our being. Our truth is we just want to share our heart. We want to be ourselves. We want to be our divine self-expression, right? We want to express ourselves. And I watched it. I think she has like 3 different videos, right, on that on that one song. And then I was just bawling, crying, because then I realized that life is short. We only have like one thing to live, right? We only have like one to become, and if we are not able to express ourselves fully and live that new level of success and things that we want in our life, then what's the point of being here, right? So I contemplate on that, because, you know, I've been successful in many different things in my life, and I went more deeper into it, and what I realized is that my level of what success means to me has a lot to do with just being an embodying source. Like when you're at your highest level and you're connected, you know, more than 10 dimensional levels, right? And we are being our expression. There's no ego. Because before, my ideal of what I thought success would be like a certain number, like if I, you know, impacted so many people, or I made a certain amount of income level, or whatever like the number that I could calibrate, that could be like some kind of or having a house, or like having, you know, good relationships, or something at a physical level. And I was like, no, that's, you know, be successful in our life. We actually wanted to be the embodiment of why we came here, right? Which is much in the much deeper sense, is connection to source, is actually the true essence of what success is. Really profound awakening. And this is not something that I thought in my head. It was something actually I experienced, like I felt. And it was really powerful to see it seeing that perspective of what that truly is all about. So because I had that awakening, you know, it was really all about impact and be my most expansive my most expansive self, right? To me, being my most expansive self is when I'm able to, you know, share my message. And how can I share my message? It has to be in a multitude of ways, right? It has to be like through my live stream show, through, you know, my YouTube show, to my TV show, to the masses, right? Get on TV and talk about my message and share that story, and like all of those aspects is so important, part of what kind of imprint you want to make on in this world, and what you really are truly all about, right? If you don't stop and take that time to really like think the bigger picture of what your life and business needs to become, then you're not driven enough to do the next level of what's, how do we say it, like do the, like actually embody what you're talking about. So this is actually my challenge to myself. And I've been doing it actually. I pitched to Oprah magazine, and on also to Inspired Coach magazine, and I'm getting back with them to see if like that's the next step for me. Heart and Soul Hustle podcast, and then I also got on Clarity Confessions with Caitlin Asher on her podcast, and she gave me September. So all of these things of why I'm doing it is because I want my message to be heard. I want to share in a different sense of really what's it all about. And to me, if we are not being our divine self-expression, truly being our divine self-expression, it has to do with the kind of imprint that an impact that you want to make. And you have to think bigger. You cannot think like, oh, I only will do, you know 10 times more expanded. How is that going to look like? How are you going to show up every day? And the truth is, you have to be out there. You have to be visible. If you get yourself out of the way and don't care about, you know, how you look, you know, if you got better makeup on or whatever, it really doesn't matter. What matters is like you are showing up and you're delivering your own expression, your own original content. So this is why I decided that I wanted to launch my spiritual school. This is a really big deal for me because I've been blocking it basically, because I always felt like but if I can express it in a way of healing, I think it could be more impactful if people could learn how to be themselves. It's so priceless. And all the things that I'm doing very naturally, like why can't I share that with the world? So this is why I decided to launch my Soul Alignment spiritual school. So it stands for SASS, and then it's all going to be all about, you know, teaching about how to utilize the akashic records, utilizing your blueprints, you know, and then also three M's, right? So manifestation, about mindset and mastery. So I call it SASS M3. I realized that it's so important to share how to actually be in soul alignment and then manifest the things that you want and master your life. So this is what the school is basically going to be about. And I already have some content. And so if you're really looking into like how can you know, like how to make your experience, you know, your life experience be your purpose, this is what I'm gonna make an impact. So I think, like, you know, being a founding member and just being part of a community where you can actually talk about soul alignment is so important. All of my clients, like, once they get that awakening, it's so hard to like keep reminding yourself about your blueprints. Like, how do you stay in alignment again? How do you talk to your spirit guides? How do you, like, you know, really embody your gifts? And if you, you know, constantly be manifesting your dream life. And definitely I've figured out something, right? And I really feel like that's the next level, is I have to share it. I have to just self-express it. So I think it's good that even at $10 a month, like, you could learn everything you need to know about how to keep yourself into soul alignment, and how profound that would be if you had the community that you needed to remind yourself every day, are you really in alignment or not? Because the key to any kind of successful business, anything you do in your life, if you're not in soul, be doing what you're doing. Because all we're doing right now, honestly, is we are misaligning each other. Because means everybody all has misalignment, even just a little bit, your whole life can go into a very chaotic mess. But if everyone knew, this is why I feel like it's so important, why I should launch this, is because if everybody knew really what their soul is and what it's about, and knew their blueprints, we would show up so differently, right? So imagine if you finally can accept that you are a spiritual, very powerful leader or speaker type of soul, or you know, healer type of soul like me. If you really knew what you really truly was about, your whole life and experience will be so much more peaceful and so much more, like, how do I say, happy. Like, you'll be really happy, right? Tara says, wow, gotta share with you all these things I've been experiencing. 3 things to help me remember: feel, heart, and soul. SSSCC. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. Feel, heart, and soul. Yeah, that's so, Tara, like, when you finally, you know, started to understand your blueprints, right? It's taken a while. It's taken you probably this past year to really figure it out now. And so this is why I think, like, I need to be able to lead this movement, and then you still have access to me to ask me questions, right? Even if we talk like once a month, your whole life would be like right back in alignment until you finally really learn how to master this. So this was really profound for me. I think I'm ready to finally just like step into my leadership. Just like any other celebrity or anybody out there that you know of, like, the only reason why they're known is because they're known for what they are good at. So I want you to get out there, right? Go out there and really make an impact. share your message with the world, you know, because you never know what's your next step until you're in that inspired action. So this happened when I was in the middle of that meditation. I got that awakening that how can I like make a bigger impact if my book isn't out there, if I'm not really talking all the time and being visible, or and you know, like only working with private clients. Like it doesn't allow. It's really about sharing that knowledge, that wisdom that I to share that. I just wanted to tell you my story. One thing that you're gonna do next that's gonna be of a bigger impact, and all it takes is just deciding. You don't know the how, right? All that matters is people just want to know why you do it, right? That's a true leader, is you just go with and you just step out and be your full potential, right? All right, well, if you love, you know, listening to my live stream show, totally make sure you subscribe. You know, there's a subscribe button here, and so you'll always be prompted whenever in your news feed that I'm on live here. You can join my Facebook group. It's now called the Fame and Fortune what was it? Fame and Fortune Soul Alignment Leader Entrepreneurs. So you can jump on there. You can actually see it on my pinned post and my business there. And yeah, come join me in my new Soul Alignment Spiritual School, because I think that a business and your life needs to be integrated, and you have to actually master this. All right, well, you guys all have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow. Aloha.